Welcome to the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. This is your go-to resource for personal growth, mastering communication, and influencing and persuasion techniques that will help you unleash the full potential of yourself and others. Here is your host, Alex Morgan.
Welcome to another episode of the Hyper Growth Zone podcast. My name is Alex Morgan, and I'm a master trainer of hypnosis and NLP. So what if you could create an abrupt change that led to more success? What if you could have a sudden increase of feeling good? Or you could dramatically advance in anything that you do? Well, many people, they sometimes may find that they're in a similar situation. Let's say you're working as a mid-level manager at a firm. You're working hard, but you're feeling a bit stuck. Every day feels the same, emails, meetings, and you have a growing frustration that things aren't just where you want them to be. So there was someone who decided after this happened to start their own business. However, they always brushed it off because it felt unrealistic. They even told themselves things like, I'm not ready yet. I don't have the resources. I don't have the energy to do this. However, at some point they stumble across a podcast or a book or a person that changes everything for them, where they start to simply feel better. They may even see that something like this doesn't require years of preparation. It actually requires alignment to change their thinking, shift their energy, and to take massive action. And what's the part that struck this person the most? It's the idea that feeling good was a big part of their success. Because many people, they find that success requires hard work, stress, burnout. And instead, this person, they started to question their own beliefs, and they asked themselves, why do I believe that I'm not ready? And what would my reality look like if I believed I was fully capable right now? And this person, they started to write down their thoughts every morning. And they started to think like they owned a successful business already. They wrote about their ideal clients, their schedule, the freedom, the security, the safety. And this started to show that there was a seed planted in their mind that everything is possible for them. And next, they started to really focus on their emotional state, how they felt internally. And they realized that spending their days in a loop of worry and doubt, this was not helping them feel good. So each morning they started to start their day with gratitude. They'd sit by their window, they'd drink their coffee, and they'd think about the things that they were grateful for. Maybe it was their health, their friends, or even the excitement of their new vision that they were creating, that they were wanting to create that abrupt change, that sudden increase, or that dramatic advance in their thinking, their emotional state, and the actions that we're taking. And to further boost their energy so that they could feel even better, they found that taking walks during lunch, listening to a certain type of music, and even visualizing the feeling of having that dream business, because they understood that the unconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and imagined. And they imagined the joy of working with these clients. And all of a sudden their energy lifted. They started to feel good. And sometimes they had even more excitement about all the possibilities ahead. And then one evening, while being on this wave of newfound confidence, this person decided to take a leap. They posted on social media about the skills that they had and decided that they would offer a consultation for various small businesses. Now, maybe you're thinking this is a small action, and this action felt big to this person. And all of a sudden, within a few days, they had some calls on their calendar. And after those calls, 2 of them hired them for projects. And it wasn't long before this person realized that they could turn this skill into a full-time business. They took a risk. These actions started to go together. They hired someone to coach them, and they continued sharing their expertise online. And really, they started to feel good, make better decisions, take bigger actions, and see their reality is full of opportunities, because that's when things truly happen. So this story, this can align you with whatever it is that you want. And if you think about it, what I'm talking about here is quantum leaping. So this is where you have an abrupt change, a sudden increase, or dramatic advance. And really, when you have a quantum leap, it only requires 3 main things. You need to change your thinking. You need to have a shift in your energy, in your emotional state, and you want to have a shift in the actions that you take. So the first thing is most people need to have an understanding of how their current thinking limit them. A lot of people are on a more fixed mindset, when instead you can have a mindset towards growth, and ideally you want a mindset of hyper growth. People also have common mental blocks that are keeping them stuck. And you may find the more that you're stuck, the more difficult it is to get unstuck, because that starts to ingrain itself in your unconscious mind. So there's things that you can do to get out of this. You can create new beliefs that align with the goals that you want. So you need to start with thinking about what it is that you want if you want to change your thinking. Because most people, when I ask them what it is that you want, when I first start working with them, quite a few people start listing out all the things that they don't want. So they're not even thinking about what they want really at any time, and your mind's going to give you what you focus on 100% of the time. So you need to focus on what you want. So that's really the easy part. Shift your thinking. Focus on what you want as much of the time as you need to. And think about, what would you think if you had already achieved that thing? What would you do? What would you see? What would you hear? And really importantly, what would you feel? And then cut out things in your life that are not going to help you achieve that. And then start listening to content, reading books, being around people. Create the environment that you want that's going to help you get to where you want to go. So shifting your thinking is the first thing that you need for a quantum leap. Because remember, this is an abrupt change. This is how you can really create a dramatic advance. And the second part of this is a shift in your energy and emotional state. And if you remember when I said ask yourself the question, what would I think if I had already achieved whatever goal it is? Maybe more money, a relationship, a new job, whatever it is. You need to feel good. Part of that is the feeling. A big part of it is. And this is why energy matters so much. Because every thought that you have and everything that you want has a certain vibration and frequency in creating the reality that you want. A high energy state, a feel good energy state, is going to attract a feel good or high energy outcomes. This is a simple example for vibration and frequency. Let's say I'm going to call you and I know your phone number. So if I dial the correct phone number from my phone, I'm wanting to tune into your frequency, your phone's frequency. However, if I dial a different number, it's not going to vibrate and have that same frequency if I were to call your phone. I mean, that's an easy way to see that it's misaligned, right? You're not going to get that same feeling. I'm not going to have that same energy talking to someone else. Chances are they're going to say you have the wrong number instead of me calling you and speaking to you about whatever it is that we want to speak about. Probably we want to talk about feeling good. So the way to really have a good vibration and frequency to help along this quantum leap is you need to focus on feeling good. Ideally, you need to focus on specific emotions that you want when you have your goal. So what are you going to think? What are you going to feel if you have already achieved whatever your goal is? And here you really want to think about the feelings that are going to be involved with this. What are they going to be? What is your mind going to be telling you and seeing and hearing? And most importantly, what are you going to be feeling? And then you need to align your energy in those things with that feeling. So you can essentially visualize what you're going to have, how that's going to feel, all the things that you're going to do when you have your goal. What are some different things that you're going to do when you have your goal? And bring in all those positive, resourceful feelings, those emotions. You need to align your energy and your emotional state, because remember, a feel-good energy is going to attract feel-good things. And anytime you're going for a goal, you need to be prepared for all of the things that come along with it. So make sure that you're feeling good with all of those things as well. Because maybe when you start to make more money than you've ever dreamed of, you're going to maybe have some more expenses because of things that lead to that money. You're going to invest in more things that lead to that money. So you need to feel good about that and be aware of that as well, that you are going to bring everything that that goal is going to bring you. And so you need to imagine yourself doing all of those things and having the resourceful emotions. And if you don't know specific ones, just imagine feeling good. However, maybe those specific emotions for you are joy, love, confidence, passion, whatever they are. Think about those. Write down what are your feel-good emotions that you're going to use to create a shift in your energy and emotional state. So that's aligning all your energy. You also need to have a good amount of emotional maturity and emotional resilience. You need to have strategies for expanding past anything that gets in your way. And you need to have emotional maturity, meaning that now that you're going to be thinking about all of these feel-good emotions, that's having emotional intelligence. You're aware of all this. Having emotional maturity means that you're not only aware of it, but you're applying it. You're using it in the most beneficial way for you. And if you want to hear about emotional maturity and emotional intelligence, I have a whole episode on that, so make sure to tune in. It's having the not only awareness, it's having the ability to apply it in the most effective way for you. So the third thing that you're going to do to make a huge quantum leap, remember, this is an abrupt change. This is a dramatic advance, so you can bring all the things that you want. You're already thinking about it. You're already feeling good about this, aren't you? Now you need to take action. Now there's a reason why action completes this whole cycle. Thinking and feeling set the stage. They get you ready for everything that you want to do. And the actions that you take creates the momentum. Now, that doesn't mean you just need to go crazy. Remember, this doesn't require hard work. This requires bold, intentional actions. That's what's important here. Maybe that person in the story that I told earlier, maybe they took some intentional actions. I don't think I mentioned that they were working so hard. They thought about certain things that they could do. They could take small risks that led to big results. There's a big difference between busy work and all of that with aligned actions, with your thinking and the emotions that you have. The wonderful thing about taking actions is this shows your unconscious mind that you have a commitment to this quantum leap. And this could be as simple as reaching out to a mentor, having a conversation with someone who has what you want. Remember, I talked about earlier the environment around you. Maybe the first thing you want to do is set up a really good environment, the people around you, how you have where you live, all the things that you take in around you. This all has to do with your environment. Maybe you start there. Start simple. Start taking action, though, to create momentum. So what you can do is you can set some tasks, some smaller goals that are going to stretch you over the next few weeks, that are going to help you make this quantum leap easily and effortlessly. It'll feel like it's happening automatically and naturally. So what are 3 things that you can do? And an easy way to figure this out is figure out what you want. So let's say that you want to make a quantum leap and you want to make a certain level of income because this is going to help you make a impact, or it's going to allow you to help other people. So what are 3 things that you can do over the next few weeks that are going to help you get there? It's like you're working backwards towards what you want. So you can track these actions every single day because this will help not only build momentum, this will show your mind that you're doing something. And then what is that doing? That means you're focusing on what you want. And that's one of the first things I talked about, because your mind's going to give you what you focus on 100% of the time. And if you're focusing on what you want, then you can also celebrate your progress. So have some rewards. Every time that you do one of these 3 things, reward yourself with something, because you want this quantum leap to be a pleasurable experience. Remember, you're bringing in the feelings of feeling good. So think about feeling good and think about 3 things that you can reward yourself with, because this is also going to show your unconscious mind that it deserves to make this quantum leap. And once your unconscious mind starts to see good, it starts to generalize and see good all around you. And this makes it much more pleasurable to make this quantum leap, because you're also creating momentum with your thinking, with your energy and your emotional state. You're vibrating at that certain frequency that's going to bring you everything that you need, and you're taking actions that really matter. So you need 3 things: your thinking, your energy and emotional state, and your actions. And think about this. Quantum leaps, they don't come from the comfort zone. They happen because you align your mind, so your thinking, with your emotions, your energy and your emotional state, and your actions with that bigger vision of who you are. That's right. So if you really want to take a quantum leap, you need to focus on those 3 things. And it's not because that person, they worked harder. They simply created a quantum leap because they aligned themselves with the reality they wanted. They decided that changing their thoughts, having their energy at the right vibration and frequency, and taking action achieved their quantum leap. And they thought, you know what, through this journey, I think I prioritized one thing, And that one thing is feeling good. So thanks so much for listening to this episode. Go ahead and share this episode with anyone who you think will benefit, because I think it's really important that we all decide to take quantum leaps together. It will really boost the energy, the emotional state, the thinking, and the actions that we can take on this planet. It'll make it a better place. Go ahead and rate the podcast wherever you are listening. It really helps it get into the minds of many others. Thanks so much for listening, and I hope to see you on the next episode.